episode 33. Jared Stout's in the building. A local NRV legend in my book. Guy looking to make a path in the music industry from the New River Valley. Another example of a guy that's, from here, trying to make it here, trying to bring back, all the things that, we hear like we have to move away and we have to do this. And I mean, in the music industry, I guess that's true, but you live here, you're trying to make your way from here. I know you've moved away, like living in Nashville and stuff like that, right?
I moved to Colorado in Denver, and at a bar in Denver, I sat next to a guy after an open mic, and he used to go around and find talent for Capitol Records.
Wow.
And the exact quote was, "You're not from here, are you?" And, "No, I'm not from here." And he said, "Well, you're real good. Go someplace where you make noise and make enough of it, and people will show up." And I was like, all right. And then, it was at that time, that's when the home video was going up in views. And that was a big kicker on, coming back home and saying, yeah, you know what? It does feel right to try and do something here, opposed to go someplace new and make it happen.
Right. Well, I love that journey. I think that we can all, with all the tools we have at our disposal with social media and stuff like that, like we can be discovered. We can
totally.
I think we can, etch out a nice life here from the New River Valley and make our dreams come true. So, on your journey, like, let's just go back, take it back to the beginning, bro. Like, let's have these people understand who you are and like what your struggles have been and, how much success you've had and, why you're on this conventional route. And, I know we just talked about it off air. Like, you haven't done the American Idol thing or the Voice thing. And
I've done the tryout for the Voice one time.
Okay.
I did that, and they were very interested in me, but I would not elaborate on my backstory in a more dramatic way, I guess, I would not, play the sob sad story card. And just because of that, it wasn't as interesting.
So it wasn't compelling enough for TV, or is that what you're saying?
I think, yeah, that's where it came down to. They've actually hit me up twice. So I've done the one original where you go in there, and then I've done one virtual where they asked me to just do a couple of clips, and they shot me to the front of the line for it. And either way is, the issue is I don't like playing on the sob story. I don't want to say convenient, because it's not convenient, but it is in the news at the moment. The Foo Fighters, R.I.P. to Taylor Hawkins. It's a sad loss for the rock and roll community.
Definitely.
But my entire approach to music has always been based on, Dave Grohl's attitude of, dude, you can make a million videos and you can sit at your home and do all these videos of other people's music and stuff, or you can play your music and you can rock out and you can get out there and you can do these shows and you can build these crowds and you can do much. I think it's a happy medium that, finds you success, but I am very keen on the old school grind.
Yeah.
And some days it gets hard to watch people who are coming up on the new school grind, and man, good and well, they haven't done half the work you've done. They haven't played streets to pay for their rent.
Yeah.
For months on end until they got a new job. There's all sorts of things that you go through in time. But you just got to keep trucking on the way that you feel confident in the path you want. And, my mom always raised me to do the hard work and to do the long road, and to always, not so much look for the quick fix, but look for what's going to be a longer lasting thing. And, that's my goal. I want a sustainable music career.
Yeah.
I want a music career that people enjoy coming to see us and love coming to see us. And because of the fans and the community we build, we're able to live our lives just, be in that musical community. But also, the idea that if you start making hundreds of $1,000s a year, as a business, I'm sure there's places to spend that money, and I'm sure lots of it gets done. But me personally, I don't have that much that I need past, honestly, what I do on a day-to-day now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy as a simple person.
Right.
And so my dream and goal has always been to make that money so I can make the world a better place and give back.
Yeah.
Not only to Blacksburg, but, the entire nation. and then on to the world. I see a lot of people who are stars and they go all over the world and they're helping people out. But man, there's lots of help to be done here. So
Yeah. I mean,
I'm trying to do that.
How awesome would it be, you know, like to have that influence and build that audience that you could go across the world and like play your songs and people just be like in a different state of mind because of your music.
That
would be phenomenal.
It would be way cool to share the emotion and the hard work and the journey with, you know, anybody who enjoys the music. I think is something that any songwriter wishes for.
Yeah.
And you know, there's as a songwriter, there's a lot of different things that you can do. You can write a ton of music for other people, and it's called mailbox money.
Yeah.
And sometimes it means something to you. Sometimes you're just a writer, dude.
Yeah.
You know, you get paid for it, knock it out, make it good, put it out there.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing when you're writing songs is that you can write a popular song, but it might not mean anything to you.
Right.
And then you can write a song that means a lot to you, and it may not be the most popular, but isn't
that a wild ride?
It is.
When you put some heart and soul into things and like you're like, this is the one, bro, and it goes and it misses. Like I'm sure that's happened to everybody.
Well, a fine example of that is Chris Stapleton just got a Grammy for "You Should Probably Believe."
Yeah.
And in his speech, he said, "You know, I tried to put this on multiple records and it never made the cut. Nobody ever said it was good enough and it wasn't going to do anything. And here it comes out and it wins a Grammy." So, you know,
funny thing is that's the song I rolled into the studio listening to.
It's a good song.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
We warmed up with it at one of our shows this weekend. I can't remember which one though.
Nice. So like how booked are you? I mean, you just stay on?
I stay on. I try to take a break because you have to be healthy, and you know, it's not just it's me who will sit out here and grind for god awful eternity.
Right.
But you know, there's 5 other people in my band, and so I try to make sure I give them a break, and we take weekends off, and you know, we communicate as who can make what and who can't make this, and I try to doctor the schedule so that we're busy rolling, you know, consistently making good money that we can put back into our business and our adventure. But also you try not to wear anybody out, because you don't want to wear them out before the adventure really starts.
No doubt. So just take us back to, you know, how you collected these guys. You know, like I mean, like how did you come to Jared Stout Band? Like tell us about your crew and you know how that's going, and you know, I mean, I heard y'all at BT's, y'all sound phenomenal.
If we go way back,
yeah,
we go all the way back to me just playing the 6 songs I know on the street before the downtown renovation, in that little nook beside Gillies on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of noise complaints in my lifetime, and the majority of them have been from that spot, from people who lived above there being like, I'm trying to sleep. And I'm like, I'm trying to make money. I got rent to pay. So, you know, that's where that started, was just playing music and trying to get out there. And then I got little solo gigs and in between. And then, you know, Jason Bronze and Mike Whaley at Tots were kind enough to
shout out those guys.
Yeah, they're awesome. I just played Sud Flood, which was rad. That was on my bucket list for Blacksburg stuff.
Nice.
So that was crazy. But they were nice enough to give me the opportunity to come in there and play music on some weekends. And that is when the band really kind of started to pick up as like, I need a band. And I was with a group, and we were called JJ Kick. And we won the first battle of the bands that they had out there at McLean's.
Nice.
What was it at that time? It wasn't McLean's.
It was Frank's.
Frank's, that's what it was. It was Frank's. So it was we won that and at the Center Bowl, and that was cool. And then that band just kind of fizzled, and I kept the drummer, and I picked up a new bass player, and man, I rocked that for a while with some good people of just exchanging. You know, hey, you want to come play this? Yeah, sure. Do we have a practice? No, it's all on the fly. I'm just going to shout chords at you, and you just stick with it. And I found incredible musicians who were able to do that.
Wow.
And that was really, really cool. One of our first shows at Tots, it was just myself, my drummer at the time, Sierra Mills, and bass player Matt Chu. And we walked into Tots, played as the trio for 3 hours and 40 minutes.
Wow.
Non-stop.
Wow.
And no practice. And to the college kids, we rocked it. Now, if I went back and probably listened to that set, it probably wasn't so hot. But you know what? We rocked it, and they were partying with us. And that was, a spark that kept going. And then, as it started to be more and more, and I wanted to do more and more, and my first group of guys that I had as a band wanted a band name, and it just didn't happen. There was all sorts of funny band names that kept coming out, Yeah. And I was like, no, I want like a real band name that we're going to be able to do something with.
Yeah.
And it used to be the J Stout in the Mix, and because it always changed. And they said, let's just call it the Jared Stout Band and just not worry about it right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but that's going to stick.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll figure out a name. We'll just bill it like that. I'm like, okay. Well, it's stuck.
Yeah.
So, I originally didn't want my name on the band, but that's how it went, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
And, over time, I've developed the group of guys that I have now. And that's just all trial and error. Yeah. You got people who show up and they want to evolve and grow and do the work. And, you can tell when somebody wants to play music on the weekends, and you can tell when somebody wants to play music for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And I've got a good group of guys who, at their core, want to play music for the rest of their life. One of them is about to graduate tech as an engineer. And at his core, he wants to play music for the rest of his life, but he's also an engineer.
Sounds like a plan B. Sounds like a maybe a music doesn't work out plan B situation.
Yeah. Well, I'm digging up. If any of you listeners, I'm gonna look at the cameras in the space. If any of you listeners know of some online engineering jobs, some remote engineering jobs, holla.
Yeah.
'Cause my dude can do work in the tour bus. But
hey, that wouldn't be a bad supplement.
It's not a bad deal,
work from home on the bus.
Work from home on the bus.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
But everybody does something different. We got educators, carpenters, students. It spans. Our oldest is in the mid 40s, and our youngest is the early 20s.
Yeah.
So there's a solid 20-year gap between the youngest and the oldest. So we've all got different experiences and different things we bring to the table, but that's been a process.
Yeah.
And it's been a never-ending process. I mean, we even picked up an extra lead guitar player just because he was in the mix, he was playing the shows, he was crushing it, and him and the other lead guitar player to two different guitar styles. And it just adds such a beefy aspect to what we do, and everybody gets along, and there's just no reason not to have him in there.
Right.
So we upgraded to 6 people, and man, we love it. We love getting on stage with all 6 of us and just partying.
Heck
it's
yeah.
so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, in Vegas, I seen the Zach Brown Band.
Yeah.
And like, what a show. I mean, it's just interesting and fun. And like what you guys supply people is valuable. I mean, we want people from the New River Valley doing that. We want to say, yep, that's our people out here in the world doing that. So, man, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you.
We're trying to make something happen, especially on the ends of the Zach Brown Band.
Yeah.
I mean, if you dig into like some of their discography, they're weird.
They are weird. They have this drummer guy. I mean, everybody is eclectic. It's like very diverse group.
They're weird. It's a diverse group, and that's what we have. We're all weird. We're all a little weird, and I think weird is the best way to describe it.
Definitely.
Because I love it.
That's the best artist.
I'm weird. I hope everybody else that hangs out with me is weird. That's some of the best people you will meet in your lifetime.
No doubt.
But the ability to hopefully one day be doing something like the Zach Brown Band does and put on a full experience of music and personality is definitely the goal.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that would have that 12-piece Jason Mraz mega band in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But the other 5 guys might argue me about it. They might be like, that's probably too many people, man.
It was spreading the money too thin at that point. Well, let me hear what you have to say about like the music industry today. Like, are you a signed artist? Are you an independent artist?
Independent.
Are you independent?
Yeah, I mean, I have a management group that I work with, and we work very closely, constantly, just to try to drive the goal and move forward. I have a marketing group that we're just starting to work with that is great. But we are an independent artist. We are not signed. We are so happy to be an independent artist and keep trucking. One of my big things that kind of dug me in on that was I was a Cody Johnson fan before anybody else was a Cody Johnson fan, at least on the East Coast.
Right.
But he was an independent guy until he got the deal he wanted. And it just shows that if you have a community and you do what you do well and you keep on and you're on that train, you know, because it's not a short ride.
Yeah.
You don't get into music to, you know, try for a year and a half, and if you're not famous, you're done. You better be trying for 10.
Yeah.
And my rule is always, if we're going up, we're trying. And then, you know, I don't know. We haven't hit the day when we're not going up yet, and I'm thankful for that. But
so you obviously have to have someone booking your shows and keeping your schedule right, and that's all you, bro.
I have myself and a manager. We book the shows. We keep the schedule right. We put stuff together. It's work, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's a business. I do a sole proprietorship, I believe, is what it is. So I own the business, and we're always constantly working, you know, like I also substitute, and I work at GNC every now and again just to put extra money into what needs money. And but it's a work in progress. You want those people who do the booking, and you want those people who do the marketing and all that stuff, but you got to find the right people. There's no reason to give money to people who aren't working with your same dream in mind.
Bro, I might have to tell you to get your real estate license, refer me people, and I just give you referral fees on your network. I mean, that's another. I mean, you're looking for
deals.
You're looking for sources of income.
I
gotta like on air tell you like,
let's do it.
You should look at that for real. Like, this is the people you run into, the people that love you. Like, they'd probably come, hey Jared, what's up with this real estate deal? You know, like, oh, hit my boy Scott up, see what's up.
I'm not opposed to this.
Yeah, so we talk about that, but
we should talk about that.
But dude,
yeah, it's never ending. You know, to give you an idea, you know, I played last Wednesday, Thursday. Last Wednesday and Thursday, I substitute during the day and then played in the evening. I played on Friday. I went up to Northern Virginia and then came back, did the Sud Flood all day Saturday. We were there because my bass player is just a freak of nature and played all 3 sets with all 3 bands because they needed him. His band was first, and then, you know, the middle band needed some help, and then he played with us.
Wow.
And did that, and then again played on Sunday, and woke up and did whatever work I needed to, went to GNC, worked at the school today, got a haircut. Now I'm here. It's just
grinding.
It's grinding, man. You know, it's one thing after another. You keep your schedule busy and you keep the success in mind, but also, you know, I got to be stubborn and push back on myself and learn to rest every now and again, which I do. But not this month, man. This month we're grinding.
Yeah. So, you know, I've looked into you a little bit, but are you everywhere? Are you like, I don't think I've run into your TikTok. Have you started a TikTok?
I do have a TikTok.
Yeah. Like, there's so many people. There's so many people out there doing little bits and little things here, putting their music out there, and just blowing up.
Yeah, but I messed up, and I told TikTok I was 32, and now I only get 200 views on all my videos. So they're like, this whole guy
is that an algorithm? Is that going to suppress your algorithm?
I swear to God,
Maybe
it did.
A problem. Maybe
I
that's
swear
a
to God,
problem.
it did, man. And I was getting all.
Tell them we're 19.
I got one of me at Champs that Maria took of me singing on TikTok. It's got me singing. Shoot, what's the name of this song? Strumming my pain.
Yeah.
And I'm singing
Fugees.
Yeah. Yep. I'm singing that. Killing Me Softly.
Yeah.
And that's got like 171,000 views.
Yes.
Let's look it up here.
Yes.
And that's
try to pull that up.
That's way up in the very, very tip top of, you know, the views that we've gotten.
Yeah.
But dude, it's not like it gets any quicker from there, which is something that you're like, 176,000 is where it's at right now.
Yeah,
and
we just had 10,000 views on. We just had 10,000 views on one of our videos, and we had like 4 likes on the video. It just doesn't make any sense.
It's so weird,
you know.
Yeah. I mean, like, I had 176,000 and I do have 17,000 likes on there, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But that's our highest video.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, there's all sorts of little things I've tried to plug into the algorithm and be silly and do that and do this, but I died on it for a little bit. I'm trying to get back to it though, because we're playing Floyd Fest this year.
Yeah. Oh, nice, bro. I'm gonna be down there.
I'm stoked. We'll be there for Saturday and Sunday playing at the On the Rise competition, and you know, we we come into these things to have fun first and foremost.
Yeah.
Have fun and be ourselves. But we're also down to do the back end work in the hopes that maybe we can win and get some great publicity. So to win, you got to get your votes, and to get your votes, you got to get your people. So the TikTok world is fixing to get dumped on with more JSB, and
nice.
We've got, marketing manager and stuff working on all of our socials, and, giving us a calendar. Our manager Tyler's working on a calendar of what we're supposed to post when and all that.
Right.
And that's it though. It's part of the process. You got to play the game.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you got to be everywhere. Omnipresent,
Yeah.
That's what the game we're playing too. I mean, wherever the eyeballs are, we got to go there.
Yeah.
No matter if we hate it, no matter what. I mean, we're in the sales game. I mean, you're in the sales game too. You're trying to sell.
I'm selling myself all the time, man.
You're selling your voice. You're
I ain't
selling
on the street, but I'm out here.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely.
Yeah, so, it is. You're right.
Yeah.
It's a sales game all the time. If you're not good at sales, how are you going to sell yourself?
No doubt.
And I'm learning for people and trying to get the vibe of it, all that. And, the next thing I'm going to do is get a new phone, because I already cracked this one. It's all busted up.
Right.
So I'll get one that makes me look prettier than the
got that extra filter.
Yeah, it's got that extra film filter of all the stuff that made it in behind the glass.
All right, man. I want to know, so you're the songwriter, you're creating your own music, you're not hiring producers. Maybe, if you have a writing partner, whatever, just take us through your creative. How are you generating? Are you writing every day? How are you going through that?
I write every day. I try to write something.
Yeah.
One quote that I keep in mind when I write songs that I hate is Ed Sheeran saying, well, I wrote 100,000 crappy songs before I wrote one that everybody liked.
Yeah.
And and that's part of the process. I'm in a songwriting group on Facebook with some great songwriters from West Virginia, and we have a song that's due every 2 weeks with a prompt. And so every 2 weeks, I for sure write a new song.
Nice.
And but I dig on writing as constantly as I can. Yeah. Sometimes I bring ideas to the crew, and I say, well, I have this idea, I want to do something with it, and we'll sit down as a group, or myself and the drummer Joey Ballard will sit down. We wrote Home Sweet Home, which is on the new record, together.
Right.
But the songwriting process is weird. You can sit down and write a bunch of stuff that you force out that's not that bad, but you don't like it that much because you forced it out. And then you have to take that and put it into other people's ears, and they don't know that. And if they love it, then you got to learn to love it.
Yeah.
And that can be a process on things. And then some days you sit down and you have an idea and you start writing, and 45 minutes later, you've written one of your favorite songs. Rainbows off the first album. People love that song. You see them singing it in the front row, in the back row, everywhere, all the time.
Yeah.
And that came out in 30 minutes one day.
Nice.
I just sat down and had an idea of something and started playing, and the words flowed, and then that I've got something down on paper. Now, that's not to say that I didn't come back through and refine that.
Right.
And say, okay, well, I said this. I want to say this in a more hidden way, or secretive, coded message, so that you make people think.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you give them the direct, straight and forward deal, it's good. But I also like to make people think about what the song means and what it means to them, and make their own personal connection to it, rather than just listening to the words I say and going, oh, yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah.
But that's where popularity comes from.
Right. How do you sample that out? How do you be like, all right, what do y'all think of this? And y'all play that. I mean, who is your...
I have a big file on Google that have my band members and some of my best friends.
So they can come collaborate and listen to it from there.
Yeah, the big file is song ideas.
Yeah.
And it's songs that haven't made it to a record or anything. And every time I have a song idea that I don't think sucks, I put it in there.
Nice.
And I go, oh, this one might be all right. And I upload a video or an audio clip. And I let them listen. If they like it and they dig on it, then we'll work on it.
Yeah.
That is... the songwriting catalog constantly builds, but it doesn't mean that you're doing anything with them.
Yeah.
We have 2 albums out, we have 1 album out, and the second album's coming out this summer. So it's, not in our best interest to introduce new music that we're writing right now, because we want people to get clicked on what we're about to release more than anything.
Yeah.
And those pieces are important to recognize in your business and in your journey, because if you're just constantly cranking out new songs that nobody can get a hold of, they get forgotten.
Yeah.
And so let's say we find one we like. I'll take it. We'll write it. It'll be good. And then the group gets together and figures out what the groove is.
Gotcha.
And you get a drum part and a bass part. You know, I don't write all those.
Right.
The guys in the band write each and every individual one of their personal parts on their own. I write lyrics. I write guitar chords.
Nice.
That's it.
So then they just base their stuff off of what you've done.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And often that'll change. You know, they'll say, oh, we should do this breakdown, or we should switch this up here. Yeah. We should change that up. And
hit the snare more here, hit the bass more there.
Yeah. I mean, like sometimes it'll be a whole section that they'll chop out, and they'll say, well, don't play this chord and let's do this. And so, you know, we build stuff as we go. But it's always a process, because in the case that somebody shows up tomorrow and says, we want to sign you guys, what do you have? You know, it's important that we have at least enough in a catalog to say, well, we've got 2 more albums ready to go if you're ready to go.
Right.
And that's what we kind of work on in this downtime of writing, is just creating those songs that are going to be good enough to go on to another album.
Yeah. And that's got to be a constant process. Well, you got to fill up at least 10 songs in an album, right? Or what do you like to do?
From 8 to 12.
Okay.
We're rocking with two albums out right now that are 8 each.
Gotcha.
Well, the one out now and the one coming out are 8. I believe the next one we are aiming for 12, but you never know, man.
Yeah.
You get a great deal. Sometimes they'll go in and wipe your first album out and take it away, and then say, all right, we'll add 3 songs onto that album, and we're going to send you into a brand new studio, and we're going to re-record this.
Oh, wow.
And then they'll re-release that. That can happen.
Yeah.
But it's just, you never know.
Right.
So you just got to be prepared for anything that comes your way when it comes your way, and just keep grinding and looking forward, and not, you know, famous forward. You know, you want to focus forward realistically, you know.
Yeah.
As a real estate agent, you wouldn't, you know, if you were starting out and you're selling townhomes, you know, go, man, tomorrow I'm going to go sell $1 million mansion or a couple $1 million mansion in LA.
Right.
Probably not.
No. Probably not.
But you're going to work your way up there. So the next thing you're going to do is sell a nice house in the area.
Right.
And that's what we're doing. We're looking for that nice house in the area to sell all the time. And then we're trying to sell a nice house in another town.
bro, I will tell you though, you get that one hit.
Oh yeah.
You get that one, you know, the Oaks, you know, like I sold the Oaks.
Yep.
That's a notch on the belt.
Yep.
I can lean on that. I can go into these other deals and say, well, this is who I'm associated with. Right. I'm associated with a former president of Radford University. I'm associated with the Oaks. You have these one hits, you'll book shows because of that viral like smash. You'll ride out on the smash, bro.
The hits are important, and we're hoping to see something like that happen.
All you need's one. I always say, and like, you know, when I'm talking like to Jason Diggs, you know, like he's my buddy. You know, he's been on the show. Like you know, I know that Glass Ceiling song you guys did, phenomenal. Bro.
We love that song.
Yeah, and like, you know, I've always known, like, if he just keeps doing it, he'll have a breakout. Like, I feel like if he just put more time and energy into it, being vocal, you know, like, not just behind the scenes all the time, all you need's one, man. All you need's one, and you can ride that out. Like, create other stuff, and people keep showing up and supporting you because they want to hear that smash, you know?
Right. And that, you know,
but how do you feel about that?
10 years ago, that was a lot easier. 10 years ago, that was, hey, this song is good enough. I'm going to send it to every radio station I know. We're going to get it played as much as we can, and we're going to build something around that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, those radio stations are getting stuff left and right. You know, you've got to break through. Yeah. And then you're saying, okay, well, I'm going to do it on TikTok. Well, that doesn't mean you're just going to post your video. That you're going to have to post videos for the next 3 months of your song being sampled in this and that and this and that. And I see it all the time. People are making those videos to try to get that one hit exposed and pushing it. And, you know, it is more often than not now, I feel like what people find as a viral hit or what they get as a viral hit is fed to them more than it is organically discovered, whether it be fed to the artist, whether or whoever it is. You know, you got to feed it out there because the chance of them stumbling across your one video or even your 3 videos organically are slim.
Yeah.
And so it's a grind. That's the most difficult part of this job, is keeping up with the ever-changing music world,
right,
and trying to stay relevant and
Yeah.
trying to stay punching and trying to be moving, because we could go to any stage, anytime, any place, play our music, and throw one hell of a show, and I have no doubts about that whatsoever.
Yeah.
The guys I play with are phenomenal musicians. They're all great, and when we click in onto the stage, we're there, and we're ready to do what we do best.
Yeah.
It's the off the stage stuff that really is the hard thing to keep up with in the music business, and staying relevant, because
Especially as an independent artist, right?
Yeah.
I mean, all the money to keep up and out there for people to recognize your brand and your band and like your face, like that takes mad money.
it does. It takes money in the marketing scene, but yeah, it takes a whole nother thing to send you going somewhere. My buddy Anthony Rosano is a phenomenal musician, really cool, out of Virginia Beach. Got to do a 4 or 5 show run with Bob Seger as his opener. Got to open the sold out Madison Square Garden for Bob Seger.
Wow. That's awesome.
Atlantic Records told him he didn't have enough social media followers.
Wow.
And when his numbers were up, to come back.
Wow.
So you can imagine how that feels when you get the chance of a lifetime and you're in front of a sold out show at Madison Square Garden, and then you get told that if your social media numbers were better, they might put you into the mainstream world. And that's tough. But now fast forward, I think that was 2 years ago. I think it was right before COVID. And fast forward to where he's at now. He just got picked up by Tab Benoit to record his next album. So Tab Benoit's doing that. And so he's got some big names on his back, helping him out and pushing him forward. But it's crazy, because an opportunity like that 10 years ago, he'd have been elevated in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But 10 years is a short time to have so much change.
Right.
And it's hard, man.
And it's been warp speed change in the music industry in that time frame.
Less and less people want to pay you for your original music. They want you to come in and be a cover or a tribute band, because they know people will show up and they know they'll make money for it, and they'll pay you for that. But they don't want to pay you so much if you're playing original music, because they don't know. They don't know who's going to show up. You might suck. They don't have the time to do their research. They care less. There's a million other bands trying to get into where they're getting into. Yep. So you're constantly fighting, chomping at the bit to be the email that they open and say yes.
Yeah.
And that's not easy.
Yeah. That's wild. I mean, just to shoulder in at all, the courage it's taken for you to just step out there and go after it, I hope is very inspiring for anybody listening. I mean, you're doing a difficult task because you love it. You believe in yourself, and like you're going to do it. You're going to do it. I mean, you're going to end up running out because this is a passion of yours. You'll take what you can get. Hopefully you blow, but if not, you're going to enjoy the ride along the way.
Yeah. I mean, fame is great.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of great musicians who I in themselves would not consider them famous, but they are sustainable.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Right.
Is they play music. They're not on a world tour or anything like that, but they make enough money that they play music.
And they live a nice life.
They live a nice life.
Yeah.
And that's really the goal, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. To be able to be the breadwinner and bring home good money doing what you love. You can't beat that, If you can make $100,000 a year in your pocket, profit playing music.
Oh man,
you're living life, man.
Yeah.
What else do you want?
Right.
Another great quote for the times, Taylor Hawkins. I don't have anything to complain about. I get to play rock and roll for a living. I can't complain about anything.
Right.
You can't.
Right.
Everything's great. If you get that opportunity,
getting up and into anything and you love what you do, you're not, beholden to anybody but yourself. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do to be successful. You can't complain about the long bus rides or the early morning or the late night. You can't complain about that stuff because you get to do what you love.
Right.
And what matches that?
Exactly.
Ease, comfort.
Right.
Missing out on something that you've always wanted to do.
Security, mostly. Security, showing up to a place you don't want to be because you need the paycheck.
Right. And that's
disaster.
Dude, that's no bueno.
No bueno.
It's no bueno to go into a job and be like,
I got to be here because this damn
I hate this. I need this check though.
Yeah.
That's not living your life.
No doubt.
So that is definitely, sustainable
Yeah.
is what I'm always looking for. Not just for me, but for the other guys in the group too. I want everybody who gets to play with me and who puts in the time. I shouldn't even say gets to play with me. Puts in the time and the effort to play in this band to have a sustainable life and career doing just that. So we need to be making about $500,000 a year.
To support 5 people.
6.
Yeah, 6 people.
Six people.
Yeah.
We could probably live on $500,000, but I'd like a little more than that for them one day.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, hey, let's tell them where you're going to be in the next month, how they're going to find you, how they, how you want them to support your music, drive them to any social medias you want them to be on.
The upcoming cool thing is going to be us at Dr. Pepper Park with Blues Traveler on May 12th.
Nice.
And those tickets are on sale. They're, giving them away, giving a couple away at the Bear. I know they did last week, and they may do another round again.
Yeah.
But so listening to 105.3 has got a good chance of being able to get out there and win some tickets to that.
Nice.
We're also the closer here for Relay for Life on the Drill Field. That's an open event. Anybody can come to that. Now, it's a late night one. I think we play 10 to 11 as the closer on the field, but it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
We're constantly traveling into the Roanoke area more. We're at the Milk Parlor this Thursday.
Okay.
With another group that's going to be at Floyd Fest called the Wilson Springs Hotel.
So a little Floyd Fest preview.
Yeah, like a little. Nice. We're both on the Rise competition, so it's a little preview for the NRV area.
Nice.
And that's very exciting. And then of course we're back there in May on the 6th. So everybody's got reading day. And so that'll be a blast.
Right.
We're constantly pushing for new stuff. Most of what we're doing these days are in Roanoke, but that's just because where my venue's at.
Yeah. So you're disappointed with Blacksburg music right now?
Disappointed. I can never say that I'm really that disappointed because I understand that it is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard to get kids to show out for music and whatnot.
Yeah.
But there are people who want it to happen.
Yeah.
And if you're watching and you're listening and you got the monies, you need to holler, because I want you to buy the old bookstore downtown across from Cabo and turn it back into a venue. And you know what? If you have enough money and you're doing well in your life and you want to do something like that, you might be old enough to remember when it was a music venue and REM played there. It was really, really cool. You're probably not old enough, Scott. I'm not old enough at all. But I've done enough research.
The bookstore?
The bookstore, yeah. Used to be a venue before it was the bookstore. Wow. And so you had South Main Cafe, which was at Cabo, and then across there you had the
Volume 2 bookstore.
It was that's what it was, downtown. And now
it's some sort of furniture market right now.
Yeah, it's like a mattress warehouse right now, but it says it's for lease.
Yeah.
And I would love, that'd be a dream for me, for somebody to purchase that and turn it into a venue.
Alan Johnson.
I'd
Colin, our guy at Lost in Taste.
Lost in Taste.
Yeah, we got to get him.
Like Alan, he's a good guy.
Yeah, no doubt. I think he's going to diversify and do a couple different things. I don't think Lost in Taste is his only last adventure, So I know he's got experience in that life, so.
There's definitely a possibility for the live music scene to pop off really well in Blacksburg.
Yeah.
But it is going to take a group of people who really want to put some trust and value into the fact that it will happen.
Right.
And it don't hurt my feelings at all for it to be cover bands for the first 6-8 months to make sure that people are showing up every night doing it. But you have a college scene. You got all sorts of college bands, whether they be good or bad.
Yeah.
I'm living proof that college kids will go see a mid-range show and party on because I know those Touch shows were not top-notch in the original day.
Bro.
But they were there.
There's people showing up for karaoke.
Yeah, exactly.
People showing up for karaoke. They're going to show up for, good music.
They show up for karaoke. They go up for good music. I talk, I've always... I love Mike Whaley, and I talk to him almost at least twice a year about putting a stage down there in the bottom of Tots. I'm always like, those big old back doors that y'all never open, you could just put a stage there and stick it out a little bit and close it in,
And seat out in the open thing. Yeah. Right
but
there.
he makes a good point that he doesn't need to. Tots is a popular place. People are there. He doesn't have to do that.
Tots is iconic. Tots is an icon of downtown Blacksburg.
Exactly. And people are rolling in anyways.
Yeah.
But in my experience, after going downtown for 3 weeks in a row now, my experience is there's not enough space downtown for the influx of people who are going out and partying and having a good time.
Definitely not.
The live music attraction is growing in the younger crowd. If you're gonna do a music venue in Blacksburg, it needs to be now. Start it now, get it while it's hot, build it up, and by the time it is ready to go, it's gonna be kicking.
Yeah.
And this place will be itching for it. But
yeah.
it depends on how big you want to go. You could do something like the extension at Tots and have local, some regional bands come around. Probably not any big tours, but if you took the bookstore and turned it into something, you could have some pretty big shows.
Yeah.
Especially with a parking garage directly beside there. Your parking's not an issue.
And the parking that's coming on Midtown.
Yep. Midtown parking, you're talking about that. I heard they were maybe putting an amphitheater out there.
Yep.
I mean, amphitheater.
They're gonna have they're gonna have all the festivals there. Like the Fork and Cork and stuff like that. They're gonna talking about taking that venue to Midtown,
and they should.
Yeah.
None of the music happens until it is supplied and pushed.
Yeah.
And it's got to happen in Blacksburg, because you can try in Christiansburg. Those kids aren't going to Christiansburg.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But you can get the general community in the Christiansburg area to get into it. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
And I love that, BT's is doing some music in Radford.
Yeah.
I love that.
Honestly, bro, right now there's more young adult professional people in our community than ever before.
Yeah.
We're starving for what you're talking about.
Right. Starving for something to do that isn't going downtown and getting absolutely wasted with so many people that you're just elbow to elbow.
Oh, sardine, like that, you can't even move around in these venues.
Something else has got to happen. And we're talking about, town benefits. If you're pushing the music scene slightly out of downtown, well, now if it gets good enough, it's not entirely out of the question at that point that Bull and Bones can extend that stage and start running with some music out of there. Because I know John loves music. And I know he loves to do that, but I also understand the business model that you can't get those kids out there to do it. So how do you do that? And it's building that culture in the community that's going to come out and love the live music. And it's here. It lives in Blacksburg. It's just got to be tapped.
Yeah. That's a marketing thing too. Do people know? Whoa. Do people know about it?
That's one of the hardest things as a musician too, is that marketing is not something that a lot of venues pay for anymore.
Right.
They do not advertise you.
Right.
You're expected to advertise you. And they expect you to do all the stuff to bring all the people in.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have a venue.
And then they want to cut.
Right. But then I've got another venue I'm working with in North Georgia called Toonies, and they've got multiple billboards across the state that they'll put us on for the week coming up into the show.
Nice.
They've got multiple radio shows that they send samples to and get people to hype up the show. And so they've just made good connections with people based on trade or a little bit of marketing, and they're pushing their thing, and they're having massive success because people show up. Because they know about it. They didn't have to find it on their phone.
Right.
They found it while they were walking around downtown.
Right.
They found it while they were driving down the road, and this big billboard says this and that and this.
Yeah.
And so, it's definitely a leap in there, and it's hard to convince people to spend that kind of money and truly trust and invest. But boy, do I have my fingers crossed that somebody's going to do it before I start making enough money to do it myself. I want somebody else to do it. But ultimately, I'll come back here in my 50s and do something. It might be
even a venue. Even after you made yours, you have a venue to come and play your music at your local spot. That would be cool.
The other secondary thing is you got to have good food.
Yeah.
If you don't have good food,
Alan Johnson's your man, bro. Like, we need to get him on something like that.
I mean, that's the big deal. If you don't have food sales, you can't have a music venue because you have so many alcohol sales and nobody's coming to eat there during the day.
We need Marie March to change that legislation. We need somebody that's going to take over the Montgomery County legislator.
It's got to be in the state.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So she's going to, like, whoever's going into the state like drafting up our laws needs to change that. Like that's a law we need change that you can't have a venue without food sales or this food sales percentage to have your ABC license. It's kind of wild, you know. And I think a lot of people are manipulating that. And
you can. So you can get like a catering license, and then sell the alcohol, and then just have the caterer show up, and then you tell the caterer, look, like I don't care what you do with this stuff. I just need beer and booze here to have this music. Otherwise, nobody's showing up.
Right.
So there's definitely ways to
Mike Whaley with
tiptoe.
Fridge full of his own food at his house.
Oh, man, I've never hung out with that man and not eaten deliciously. So
I love those guys, you know. Again, shout out to Tots. Like that is a great, like they get a bad rap sometimes as being like a student bar or whatever. But honestly, man,
I don't think that's a bad rap though.
And it's not even the case. Like every time I've been there, I'm not the oldest person there. I'm 39 years old. I'm not the oldest person there. And it's just a diverse crowd because it is such an icon of Blacksburg. You're going to go out in Blacksburg? Well, you got to at least check out Tots, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And do I go to Tots very often? No.
Yeah.
But when I'm in town and I'm hungry, do I make the choice to go to Bots? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I try to go down there and support them as much as I can because, you know, I support that whole deal in the establishment. Or I'll go over to PK's, you know, either same guy.
Yeah. Have a pizza.
All delicious food. I used to order the PK's individual slices at my house when Shaka and I lived on Clay Street. Yeah. I used to order those like candy. It was so bad for me, but God, they're so good.
Yeah. Well, again, all right, so Apple Music, YouTube, all these places you typically find music. Jared Stout Band.
Easy as peasy.
Download there. And,
that's Jared like the jewelry store, Stout like the beer, and Band like you listen to. Real easy to find us.
Yeah.
You can go to our website, thejaredstoutband.com. We got merch in there, and then you got all the links to all of our YouTube, our videos, our Spotify, Apple, all that. And we got a new single coming out next week, actually.
Sweet.
That's called One Shot. It's a Western story about an outlaw and a pretty girl that he meets in a bar, and she decides to leave her husband and her whole life and everything and join up with this outlaw and run away together and become outlaws, and then become a team where the guy is actually the robber and she's the sharpshooter. And so she takes people out while he goes and he robs a bank and he comes back out, keeps them safe, and then they skip town.
Nice.
And he ends up getting captured and taken into prison and tried, and they're gonna hang him. And she's, you know, eyeballing all this and shows up on the ledge to sharpshoot when they're gonna go hang him, and she's gonna shoot the rope so that when it goes tight, he'll be free. And then she's, you know, her plan is all take out everybody and run around and everything. We'll get out of town that way. And she goes for the shot and she misses the rope. And so he dies, and the shot's heard, and she has to run out of town, and she gets to live the rest of her life as an outlaw sharpshooter on her own.
Wow.
And
sounds like a good video. You want to make a video?
Man, one day.
Yeah.
One day I'd love to. You know, I got a whole story in my head for it that I wrote it, you know, within my mind. And I tried to include all of those things in the aspects of what you listen to when you hear the song, the little individual pieces.
Right.
And but yeah, it was a nifty write, you know, leaving the hero as the strong female Annie Oakley outlaw figure, and that's what I wanted to do. I thought that was different and way cool. You know, everybody talks about John Wayne, but let's talk about the girls that were crushing it back then too, because they weren't supposed to be.
Right on.
You know. Nobody wanted to know that they got shot by the female back then, but you know, that deserves that recognition.
Man, I just felt your creativeness like right there. I mean, like that vision in a video with that song, man.
And if you haven't heard the song, wait till you hear the song. And now you have the story behind it. And when you listen to this song with the story behind it, you'll hear it. You'll hear every single piece of it. And you'll understand what I'm talking about. But it's hard to include such a big story that honestly, if you wanted to, you could turn it into a movie. And condense it down to 4.5 minutes.
Do you have that on like pre-sale? I mean, is that like that's ready to be downloaded?
Yep,
like
I got a pre-sale link that I'm about to dish out tomorrow morning.
Right on. Hey, hit that to Weston, and we'll put the link in this show. Like we'll get everybody, that watches all the links to your stuff.
Yeah.
So they can like get that on pre-order.
I'll send you guys a whole little chunk
definitely.
of links and everything that people can
For
click
sure.
and pop up. And we're excited, man. We've got some great songs on the second album. We've got, lots of stories to tell for almost every single one of them.
Yeah.
And whether they tell a story or there's a story behind why they were written.
Yeah.
And we're putting out another single in May. It's called Luck. And it's all about a guy whose significant other has left him, and he woke up after a bad dream of being left, and turns out he's actually has been left. And then he goes out to the bar to drink his sorrows away later that night, and sure enough, she's there with another guy already.
Oh wow!
And so like that's what that song's all about, and it's cool.
It could be relatable to a lot of people.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You wake up one morning after a breakup thinking it's a bad dream, and it's not, and then you stroll out to drown your sorrows, and there it is, right in your face. So it can definitely happen, but it's I love imagery. I love to create the imagery for the listener and make sure that they can, if they can't close their eyes, listen to the words, and almost visually create a story out of it, then I probably haven't done my job.
Right. I love it. Bro, when's the album going to be released? I know you got the singles coming. When's the album coming?
Album is set for mid-July. We don't have we're not releasing an official album release date at this moment.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of things that we're working on in that space. But once we know what these other things are going to do, we're gonna be ready to pump it out there.
Sounds good. I think we got another show when that happens. I mean, you want to come back on and you want to tell these stories about these songs?
Absolutely.
And honestly, I'm not sure if you're paying attention to this space or not, but like the NFT space, like what you're able to do with your music sales through the digital currencies.
I know nothing about the NFT space.
Yeah, so maybe we can start collaborating on that. Like Tory Lanez was out there, sold his album through an NFT, made $1 million. Sold it for $1. Sold it for $1. Was the quickest platinum selling artist of all time. And
it's crazy.
I mean, he's good, but he's not like Drake good.
Right.
So like I'm interested in that space. I'm interested in like educating local people about that and like talking about it.
You come sit down and have a chat with us and talk about some NFTs. I'd love to learn more about it and know, because I see people putting out NFTs and I know people who have made a killing off of just chucking out some random little digital artwork.
And what this has done is allowed a guy like you to sell off these things and give some sort of exclusive access,
right?
Like if you said, all right, buy this NFT and you're going to get this private show, or something like that,
and that's something we're constantly interested in because it's one thing to spew out information and all this stuff to people who may care, may not care, but when I've got a group of people that I know love what we do and appreciate us and really want to honestly know more, I am far more inclined to do so much more for that kind of group of people because I respect that. I appreciate that. And I want to let you in on the secrets that other people don't know.
Well, dude, I'm definitely trying to make it to Dr. Pepper Park. I'm already booked to come to Floyd Fest, so I'm glad that you're there. I was going to ask you about that, and I'm excited and pumped that you're going to be there.
We'll be there Saturday, Sunday in the beer garden.
Cool, man. So we'll see you there. And in the meantime, man, let's just stay connected. I appreciate the conversation. Thank you for being here, man.
Absolutely,
I really appreciate
brother.
that.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This is way cool. Love the setup.
Yeah.
Love what you're doing here and getting the NRV out. The NRV is an awesome spot, man. We're right on 81. We're down from Roanoke. Musically, there's no reason that Blacksburg shouldn't have a significant music stop.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one.
Yeah.
There are so many bands that tour in regional, and this is a whole nother thing. I can play in Blacksburg and play in Roanoke the next night, and my numbers don't cross.
Yeah.
Because people don't want to drive that 45 minutes.
Yeah.
They will for a big name, maybe. But, regional bands that people still are going to come see and pack the house for, you're not going to find people going from Roanoke to Blacksburg.
Right.
But they can easily have two separate markets in here and do great with it.
Yeah.
And I I really hope that that's something that manifests and moves and happens.
We'll keep speaking it, brother. We'll keep
speak it into existence.
No
you
doubt
know,
about it.
I'm constantly, every time I meet somebody who's doing something with music that knows people that maybe are investors, I'm like, hey, there's this building in Blacksburg. Somebody's got to buy it and turn it into a venue.
Right.
I'm itching. I'm going to be sad if I see that lease sign come down and it's not turned into something cool.
Right. Well, dude, I appreciate your time. I'm excited to see you keep ascending and you know, keep coming and supporting you guys. And I hope everybody watching gives these guys a listen. You know,
check us out.
Yeah, go to the website, find where they're, you know, find the next convenient date for you and go check these guys out.
Yep, we got dates all over the state of Virginia into North Carolina. We're doing something in Greensboro with the new Ziggy's space with Jukebox Rehab. That'll be a wild time.
Yeah.
So we got lots of cool stuff coming up. So North Carolina, Virginia, we're into West Virginia. Anywhere you're looking, Maryland, definitely give us an eyeball because we're probably coming somewhere close soon.
Cool. All right, man. Well, thanks again. And everybody, I need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're struggling. I need a share, like whenever this, keep driving people my way. Like,
we'll do it.
Talk about it and like share this when we post it if
Absolutely.
you don't mind. And everybody that supported us so far, we appreciate that. And just keep tuning in for us. And we'll be back next week.
I need 1,000 subscribers too.
I mean, how many do you really have? I mean, you got to have like 10 grand, right?
Oh, dude, I wish.
Yeah.
You know, like it's one thing to get them when they're on there, and then it's another thing to actually get people who are consistently clicking those links.
Yeah.
You know, that is the hardest thing. Click the link.
Yeah.
Click the link.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I have 415 subscribers.
Oh, wow. Well,
on
that's
YouTube.
crazy. So we need to collaborate to push this thing together at the same time.
Let's do it.
All right.
Always looking for new
Jared
people.
Stout YouTube page. Go subscribe to our page, and support us when you can. There's 100,000 people in Montgomery County.
There should be no reason that we don't have
1,000 subscribers.
We should at least have 50,000 subscribers
Right.
all around
Right.
in that case.
Yeah.
But you know, it's hard to convince everybody to go click.
Yeah.
All right.
1 second of your life.